Hi, I'm Charlie, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press. And this is Chloe.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I'm so happy to be catching up with Charlie Gillespie. How are you?
Very well, Chloe. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I know we were just talking a bit before. It's been 2 years since our first interview, so I'm so excited to, steal a bit of your time because you've been constantly on the go this past year.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. Like I was saying, you're the first Julie and the Phantoms interview that I did. So it's nice to retie. Wait until we're like 80 and we're still doing these and we're just like, hi Chloe. You know what I mean? Then
yeah, I don't know what kind of Homer situation I'd be in at that age, but it's
Homer?
always nice.
Homer like Simpsons? Is that what it sounded like? All right, Chloe. What does he say? Zip, not zip. Does he say zip? No, he goes, arr. What does he do when he's choking out his son?
I don't remember. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get no.
We won't be able to even like hear each other virtually. It'd be like, sorry, what did you say again?
What was that? Huh?
What was that?
What? What?
What?
I like the dog. How old is he?
100 years old? What did you say?
100 years old. What?
We'll talk a bit about The Class, which is a new movie of yours that just came out. It was written and directed by Nicholas Solozzi.
Chicago-born man.
What drew you to the script and your character, Jason?
Well, I liked because I don't know. Well, Jason ended up being someone really cool to play. Nikki gave us a lot of freedom in on the days that we were filming, which was really, really nice. And Nikki was also similarly to Kenny about bringing artists and just letting artists be themselves or be the versions of who they are for these characters and try to let you explore the room at the same time. Which was really, really exciting to do again. And I like the way that these people all came about and into this classroom. There's a few things like, okay, all these kids are going through all this shit and they're all in the same classroom at the same time. And it was like, there's parts of that scratched me a little bit at the start, but when we were doing it, it was like it just all those questions started making sense because for what we were going through, it made sense for us to be there on those days. We were individuals that were having hard times at home and didn't put much focus, especially in like the least important class of our semester, which is theater for all of us. He also became a bit of a theater kid to me. I thought he was going to be this too cool for school type guy, like grumpy all the time, very flat and like very boring on screen. But when we were in the room, there was just these moments that I was just like, I want to say something. I want to make a fart noise. And when I did it, like Nikki would yell cut, and I'd look at him, waiting. And he'd come up and be like, good job, keep it up. I'm like, oh, yeah. So he really gave me a lot of validation for just these little things. And so this character who was supposed to be this like, tough son of a gun became like this like a bit of like the annoying kid in class that does theater, being me. Sometimes I wasn't too disrespectful in school. I maybe sometimes. But I was like student council and stuff. So I just had to have a lot of respect. I felt like me and teachers were less teacher student, more like we kind of like were on the same level at times. Some teachers didn't think that. You know who you are if you're watching this. They're not watching this. They don't give a shit. They're done.
Like Charlie who?
Yeah. Oh, that one boy. Yeah. Oh my God. And you know what? Like there's 2 classes in high school where kids farted like while we were like silent moments, and they still make me laugh to this day. I think fart jokes have got to be like some of the best comedy that ever exists. And like both times the people like were pretending like nothing happened. Like, you know, once I was in French class and the girl was like, everyone was like, it was like during like an essay, and it was we all looked at her like, and she goes, what? And then this one time in music class, it was like we were going, and then the music teacher goes, what? And then the boy like leg in the air, farting, and we all were like, and then too, we just like pretending like it wasn't him. Like we saw the leg come up. It was basically like there's basically like this thing of green smoke kind of like morphing around him, you know, like a cartoon. So anyways, fart jokes will always be in my dictionary. But yeah, you know, I really, that's like so far from the question. But you know, if scripts come and go, and when you can understand the character, you know, there's parts of him too that were hard. And I've grown from that movie too. We filmed that like I think 2021, maybe 2020, 2021. And you know, all these experiences, all these independence that I've been getting into have been really about development and working with different people and different types of directors and different types of writers and different actors. And what can I, every experience that I've been going into, it's like, what can I take out of this and bring and add to my personality and add to me, and what can I learn about these people? And you know, they're hard sometimes, right? Like I want to be there for everybody, but that's on these shows sometimes. And I try, but you know, you're there doing your job at the same time. And sometimes you need, it needs the balance on both sides, you know. You're an individual, you're creative yourself, and you have a voice. So, you know, when people who won't let you use it, it's just a different experience.
Like you've already done a number of different roles so far, and it's kind of balancing that passion, like you mentioned, but also, you know, setting your own kind of boundaries. Like these are characters, and when you throw so much of, you know, yourself into your work, it can kind of go back and affect you personally. And I know that's something that you've also talked
about.
about.
A lot of these projects have been so sad. I just want to do it. I really didn't want to do like a
Where's the happy rom-com things like that?
You know, like the happy rom-coms that might have one teary moment, you know, like, you know, that 3/4 of the way that grabs you and makes you like, oh, you know. But for the 90%, I just want an adventure that people can go, ha, you know, with. And because that's my favorite movies growing up, right? I love the series. I love like Seven, but like Big Daddy and, you know, even Grown Ups and those things, they're not rom-coms, but they're coms. Can we say coms? Is that a thing? Are we going to give ourselves a privilege on this call to say coms?
You can put it out there now. Coms is comedy. Charlie said so.
Coms. Chloe, you said so too. You're not getting out of this. We're in this together at this point. Okay, let me just say, Chloe and Charlie, you know, you can even go first if you like. How about we just say Chloe said so? You know, Chloe said we can call them comms.
From the trailer, I just wanted to mention that your character, like Jason's life, it gets intertwined with lyrics.
You didn't watch it, Chloe? Are you?
No,
what are we doing here? What are you
saying? This is a non-spoiler interview. So
okay. Yeah, so you're making sure you don't watch it just to make sure you're not spoiling anything. Is that what you're telling me here?
Yes, but I am going to, because I know it's on Google Play. I'm actually
on Google
not.
Play.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know Google
and
Play was
Apple TV and Amazon Prime Video, so put that out there. But your character is kind of intertwined with Lyric's character, Casey. Yeah. So what can you just say about their dynamics and what it was like working with?
Well, I love Lyric. Lyric was so much fun to work with. And we related on a bunch of different levels. I don't know how, but I always ended up driving her back. Oh, because we were in different hotels. I had a dog, so I couldn't stay in the same hotel as everybody. And Lyric had her mom, and so she couldn't either. And so when we would all hang out at the main hotel, on the way home at night, I'd end up driving her back, and we'd have the best conversations. We both call our grandma's nanny, which is like very cute, and we make each other laugh. I really, really enjoyed Lyric, and working with her was such a privilege. I just got to see her new movie on Netflix and loved it. So good. I feel like I'm just there in my like PJs, like rooting her on the whole time. But Wendell and Wild, like that you gotta go. You gotta check that out if you haven't seen it, and make sure you go support Lyric because she's a queen. And our characters, I didn't like realize so much about, I mean, I knew like there was a thing that started, but like even that like developed differently than what you think in the first read, like there's some like the paint, like the little, like we had a little spitball fight at one point, and we were just both like, it was just like kids playing in like this little room, and the camera was recording us on the side. And it felt like that. I felt like messing around, and I was sitting behind her most of it, so I didn't really always get to see her reactions. But when we got to watch the film, she made me giggle a couple of times with her. She's got a great eye roll. You know what I mean? She's got a great, like put that in the museum of cinema because she will. And the rest of the team too. The rest of the team, it was really fun. We were just a bunch. So I don't know if you can hear me doing. It might be annoying, but I apologize. The rest of the team was really great to work with. We always joke about doing something else. We call each other the Mystery Gang, which was really cute. And because we had a little Scooby, which is Koa.
I was gonna say a Scooby-Doo, but I mean, because you were there for 1 month, I think, in Chicago, but it was a really fast-paced 1 month to get this movie done. Jam sessions I saw online. You guys are singing Mamma Mia.
Yeah, and then Michael and Koa smacked each other in the face with and Koa like, and Michael was so nervous. He was like, "It's not gonna match on camera." It's like, "Michael, you're fine. It's just a little cut." But that boy was bleeding. That boy had like blood like just coming down, and Koa was like, "Hey," like I'm sorry. But yeah, jam sessions and hikes and late nights and margaritas and what else did we do?
You and Juliet, well, she posted a dump of photos. You two had the VR headsets on.
Yes, that was. Oh, we had such cool producers on that. One of our producers, Mike, he just kept showing up with fun little things. He showed up with a couple of VR headsets one day. I was like, "Hey, Bond." We were like, "Okay," and he's like, "Okay, I'll have my credit card. Download whatever games you want." And we didn't play many games. Like we loved our favorite one. I think was the drum. And it's basically like, remember that tap go or something like that on your iPod Touch. And anyways, now we had a really really fun team on that one.
Was the cast?
How's all your interviews been? How are you? It's been 2 years. Tell me about you.
I mean, it's been going. I think like I honestly haven't done an in-person interview since before March
COVID?
2020. Yeah, so it's all been virtual. But it's been nice. It's allowed me, I think, to have like longer conversations, things like these, than you would if you went to a venue to interview a band before their show. You'd have like maybe 15 minutes kind of thing. So it's been really good, and I'm always like really looking forward to catching up with people, obviously, who have spoke with before. I think that's.
And I saw you were doing Greta Van Fleet.
No, we did take photos. We had a photographer there. I wish I could speak with them one day.
You were right there, right in front.
Well, not me, but a photographer. But it was so cool because
why'd you go?
I was actually I work at the venue part-time. So I did get to see a couple of their opening songs, and they were really good. Like the energy, the fire. I'm sure you saw them when they came to the city. Were you able to? Okay.
Twice last year. Me and I went once with Owen. We saw them at ACO, and then another time with Sasha. It was like they were doing like a pop-up show.
Sasha, of course, rock music. I know that he loves them as well.
Talk about growth. Sasha has changed so much since the show. I'm intimidated being around that kid. He's just so cool. He's walking
and it's
in.
The clothing too. It's like the whole thing. Yeah.
Got style. That boy's got style for sure. And his mom, they'll make clothes in their house, which is really cool. Like they got patterns from like the 60s of bell bottom jeans that they can like. It's inspiring to be around them. They've also done the Santiago, La Camino de Santiago. You know what that trail is? Oh wow, girl, we gotta get you in on that. So fun. Well, I'm glad you. So you're craving though. You want to get in the room with some people though. I know you love these long conversations, but you must.
Yeah.
You must really
I do. It's been. I think a lot of artists still aren't really doing like in-person press, especially artists on tour, because if they catch COVID for some reason, they have to kind of postpone everything, and it becomes like unbacked. But we'll see.
So
hopefully in the new year. We'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping in New Year too. Same thing with acting. Like we're still not auditioning in the room unless it's like later on in like the process. But I just miss being like with the casting directors and reading. And there's an energy that you connects that feels so blinding when you're on Zoom. Like I feel like you're in a fog.
There's always going to be like a barrier.
There's such a barrier because and even with interviews too. Imagine if we were next to each other right now, laughing about being like 80 years old and not hearing each other, like which I hope that's not offensive to 80-year-olds, because there's some 80-year-olds out there that could kick my ass. There's some 100-year-olds out there that could kick my ass. You should, but I'm glad we get to at least do this though in a way, because fuck, like how cool is this? This is real time. I'm in Atlanta. You're still in Vancouver?
I'm in Kelowna right now.
Kelowna. What you doing in Kelowna?
Visiting my sister. It's actually snowing outside right now.
Give us a shot. Show us.
I'll show you later. I can't move my computer device right now. It's kind of fixed. I'll show you later. Okay.
We haven't had snow in New Brunswick yet, and I've seen people like ski.
You're like, I wish.
I wish. I do wish. I know.
Before we,
I want to go back to I want to go for a good ski trip. I want to go swim.
And you won't find that in LA, so you're gonna have to go back to New Brunswick.
What do you mean don't find that in LA? Have you been to Big Bear?
When does it start? Like,
for Big Bear.
Okay.
It's good because I grew up with a tiny little hill called Polly Mountain, and no shade to Polly. I'm so blessed to have that little hill where I grew up. A good like 15 to 20 minutes taking the chairlift up, and then a nice like 2-4 minutes skiing down. It's what it is, and you're proud because you get to, because actually, well, we would go off the trails and we build these single trails, and it was very like home built, and so I'm really, really happy that we had that. But Big Bear, people say it's small, except it's like way bigger than Foley. So I'm buzzing every time I go, and it's only like, I think it might be like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from LA, and the drive is always beautiful when you get up into the mountains, and then it's like half desert, half like not desert,
When is it in operation? Like, is it open now or December?
I don't know. LA, I don't know. There's rain right now in LA. So if it's getting cold, then maybe, but they go pretty late. Like they might even like, well, look at all this stuff. Like this, like Mammoth might have snow already. There's Colorado's got snow. So you know what? We'd have to Google it.
You'll definitely get your ski trips in this winter. You'll make sure of it. Before we kind of move on from the class, I did want to fit in a question about Debbie Gibson and Anthony Michael Hall, who you got to act with, absolute legends. To be able to watch them work, like what did you learn from them? Were you able to have any like one-on-one conversations?
Yes. Debbie was a sweetheart. Debbie, I mean, she's still a sweetheart. I love her. I'm a huge Debbie Gibson fan. I got to go to her concert in Vegas like last year, and I bought the merch and everything. I wish I could find that picture for you. It's very funny. And then my mom, because my mom is like a big Debbie Gibson fan, and so she was out in Vegas with me. We were celebrating our birthdays, and Debbie is like, it's like, hi. Debbie's like, hi, Charlie. And my mom was like, hi, wait, what'd she say? Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie's mom. And my mom's like, well, hi, Debbie Gibson. And she was like, oh, like using last names, you know what I mean? And it's like when you see somebody like you're really excited for, and then they
You're trying to be so polite, right?
here's my fangirl pic with Debbie Gibson. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I think yeah, it's cute. It's cute. So we like that. We had fun with there. And yeah, no, it was interesting. It was really fun. I felt you know, because we were like a bunch of kids and they were playing like the teachers in the school, right? So and Debbie's character is like, her hearts are there for us. She opens up. Anthony's character is you know, kind of like I don't want you guys doing this, you guys are like mean kids and stuff. But then he ends up opening up to us too. And there was some nice moments, nice bonding moments for sure between us and Anthony and Debbie.
I know that Anthony has spoken before about being proud of the class and its homage to the Breakfast Club, but also standing on its own. Like, for you as the cast, were you very conscious of wanting to create your own story, or did you end up talking about the Breakfast Club a lot? I know that that's kind of like, there's this line between wanting to pay your respects, but also, you know, this is kind of a modern take. This is something for this generation, newer.
Well, there are many versions of the Breakfast Club, right? I don't know if you remember, but like Lemonade Mouth was even like its own little version of the Breakfast Club,
That's
right?
a very good point. Yes.
And our take, you know, like the Breakfast Club originally is a lot more comedical. You know, it's not that it's less serious, but for the time it was very serious. You know, what they were talking about and having these open conversations with each other, with strangers. It wasn't something that seemed to that seemed normal. Times have changed so much. You know, they had people crawling through like air vents, and you know, so there was moments in there that that was a highlight of the times. Ours, we're doing it in 2020, 2021, whichever year we did it in, and we are not forced, but you know, people like storylines have developed in different directions, and people like, and so these background stories had to be a little more, I think, described, and so the opportunity to describe them through characters really ended up highlighting each individual's problems and why, you know, and how to get through those, and so it, you know, to do either version would have been, you know, a blessing, and I, like, you know, I love comedy and I love bringing that. So I'm really happy that Nikki still let us have some fun like that on this set, and not just lay it into the seriousness. A lot of people reach out and say like, I thought it was going to be more of a comedy. I didn't realize how heavy it was going to get, and so, but it's important, you know, these people they're each like in these situations that are really affecting them, and without talking about it or without getting through it, you know, we still had to get through it in a movie, you know, so there's that realism that kind of gets pulled out as well. But, you know, because things take time, especially with all these issues, and everyone's going to go home to different stories, right? Colin's character is going to go home to a rough family life, and especially if he does come out to his parents. And Michael's character, you know, the world isn't about to change the world, you know, and even with the girl and all this stuff, but he, you know, he really listens to the way the world is living. And a lot of people do that, you know, it's hard not to with TikTok and social media. You're always inside of like the consequences of everyone's actions, and you take responsibility because you are a part of this generation, and this generation as a whole, not like our parents' generation, our generation. It's like we as a human race are liable for the way we treat the world today. Even though it's a percentage of people, it's still us. And so the topics getting discussed had to be a little heavier. And it was hard. It's hard going through all that all the time, especially when you're doing it. It's really hard not to take it home after a day of crying all day, and everyone had to do their own little things. But having everybody do it was really special. Everybody going through these moments, because as the characters grew, we all grew with them, which was felt, within our relationships with each other. So
I can tell it was an emotional journey, but I think like in terms of storytelling, I'm looking forward for people to see this movie, for me to see this movie, because it's all about also that perspective. And if that's something that viewers can take away from, especially all of the hard work of the cast and crew, then it's so worth it. Now, you were in Vancouver recently, totally killer. It was a horror comedy, so there was some comedy in there, hopefully comedy that suited
a lot of comedy.
you and your style.
Yeah.
I know you can't say too much, but there has been some like plot lines, whatnot released about it, who you play. So what can you share? And you got to work with some actors who've been in the industry since a young age, Olivia Holt, Kieran Shipka, Liana Liberato. So what was that like?
Awesome. I had so much fun. I loved that set. It was a great time. And I don't even know, like, I don't even know what I'm allowed to talk about. So
it did say you to play Teen Blake in a 1987 timeline. So I think maybe that's the extent of what you can say.
It's a mix of Mean Girls. You got Mean Girls, you got Back to the Future, and you got Scream all in one, right? And it was fun doing a horror film. Now, a couple of things happened on that set, which were really bugging though, because COVID is still a thing. And the second you get COVID, you have to have, like, now it's at least 5 days of isolation versus the 2 weeks and all these different things. But I caught it on like one of the most important things. We were filming at the what's that big amusement park down in
Playland?
Sienny is Toronto.
Sienny Playland? That's the only thing.
Is that it?
In Vancouver.
Yeah,
I think it's Playland.
Is it Playland? Is there another term? Is it Sienny Playland? Anyways, so we I got COVID, and it was our last day filming there, and it was just like but we had a great time, great cast, great crew. Our director, she's awesome. She comes from comedy like that writing, and there's some really great jokes in there, like laughing like reading the script, like there was like a lot of moments of like laughing out loud, and we get to work with people like Randall Park as well, and he was like awesome to work against. Now I play like the 70s version of my character, and and like I don't know, I have actually my buddy Michael from the class. They were doing like a screening of it down in LA, and like just like the test screenings there, like audience tests and stuff, like there was like the CGI and all this stuff wasn't finished. I think like it was marking like, like this person gets this done, and he really liked it. He was really complimentary of it, which was fun and exciting. And Olivia's a sweetheart, Kanan's a sweetheart, everyone on that set, they were all sweethearts. Like it was good. Kanan's a badass and naturally just funny when she's like she just has to say, like, she could say fuck and it'll get you like giggly, and Olivia plays my like we're like in high school, so we're not like married, but like my future wife, but in the young day, and so she's like, and so me and her had a great time. She's so sweet, she's so adorable, And no, I liked it. I can't wait to see that one. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
really
gonna be funny, I'm sure. You, by the
funny.
way
And
you mentioned like the delivery of dialogue, things like that, and being back in Vancouver, was it nostalgic? Did you go up Bramble Street at
oh
all? Get to reunite with any friends or maybe some of the Phantoms crew?
well, actually, our costume, like Amy Shelby, she was like our costume lady on Julie too. She ended up coming and doing costumes on this one. So, and we got to spend a lot of time. This time here, I lived out like in like more the boonies, which was much more of an experience for me. Like I love being in the city, but I would much rather have like a walking trail or someplace to go hiking, and that experience was beautiful. Get to see all the bears and the great fields and things like that. That's my Vancouver. I think if I would ever like move there, I'd like to be more in the woods because it's incredible. It's such a and it's not far at all. You know, like LA, like you're traveling for a while too. When I ended up living down in Venice, which was the best. But you know, you just yeah, we did some nostalgic shit. Went to go see the Orpheum sign and try to get. Oh, we saw a concert at the. What did we see? It was so funny. We all went to go see the concert, but we didn't know who was playing, and so we were at the concert, and it was just the opener that was done, and we were like, "Oh, awesome show!" And we all left. And then one of our friends was still in the theater, and she was like, "Where are you guys?" Like, "Oh, we're at where we went to go eat, probably like one of those classic places down on the street." And she was like the band's just starting, like, and we were like, "What?" We were tired.
I guess they never mentioned during the show, like, okay, next up is so and so. You're just all like, opener. Okay. I'm sure the opener must have ended at like, I don't know, 9 p.m. and you're like, okay, let's call it. Like,
Oh, yeah. It was cool. It was funny, but it was just more about being with each other anyways. That's what we wanted to do. Like we didn't really know the band, but I heard the band was awesome. Our friend
Koa got to be with you in Vancouver.
Yeah, Koa there. Yeah, we did a bunch of hiking. And he come on set. Olivia has a little puppy, and they became like really close, really cute little buds. Hold on, Amy sent me a picture just the other day from the trailer of the two of them. It's like a video. It's Koa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
that's adorable.
His dog. Yeah, they're cute.
I think also anytime, like I'm sure Koa is such a star, but anytime Koa actually has a playmate must be a win as well.
Yeah, right. He's bored on the set. Like not bored. I mean, he's just because there's so many people like that pass by all the time, and I leave the door open and he's tired, so he can just like roam around, go say hi. But he loved having another dog. It's like it just feels more natural for him.
Yeah.
I love that. I would love to be able to have him have a friend. My sister's got one. My sister's got a cocker. And so when Koa stays at her house, they love each other. And my brothers all have dogs too. And so like they have a bunch of friends. But when they get to live with another dog, that's like a whole other feeling, right? Because they get to like, live with somebody.
Yeah, it's a comfort level. And I mean, animals have them too, just like humans. Next weekend.
You don't have any dogs, eh?
Sorry?
You don't have dogs?
No.
No, just
one day I would like a pet of some kind.
A pet?
Preferably a corgi.
Pet? A corgi?
Yeah.
Corgis are cute. My buddy Marco had one when we were kids. Tiny little things. Was it a corgi? A teacup Yorkie? Is that a dog or is it a teacup corgi?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not corgi, but there are like teacup puppies of other breeds. I think. Yeah, those are adorable.
Adorable.
You'll be back in Paris next week, back to the musical world too. How excited are you for round 2? Because you were there in last December, so you must have a lot of core memories from that experience.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun. I got to go with my sister last year, go with my mom this year, and I love Paris. My God, what a beautiful city! Great people, great food. and being there with people that you love as well is such a bonus. And, you know, and we get to meet Vanessa Hudgens this year, which is kind of cute. I loved High School Musical. I'm excited for that. And just get reunited with some folks I haven't seen in a while. I haven't seen Madison probably since last time we were in Paris. I don't think I've seen Owen since as well. I haven't seen Jerry. Last time I saw Jerry. Maybe I think the last time I saw Jerry was at a show in LA. So, and then Kenny, I've seen Kenny a few times since then. But it's a beautiful city. Have you been? Never?
I've not
Do you want
been.
to go?
Yeah, probably one day. My parents have been, and obviously, I mean, there's so many different sites to see, museums, and yeah, beautiful, beautiful place.
Have you been to Europe at all? No.
It seems like I haven't traveled anywhere.
No. That's true. Like it was like I'm so fortunate for like these couple of experiences that brought me out there. This company too brought me out once, but like I like that's the only reason why I've been. I've never been by myself. It's expensive to fly out there, but it really is a great experience. You're walking the streets, you just feel the history and the age that these streets. It feels like people have been walking here forever, which they have, you know. Whereas us, it's so new. Our cities are so young that you know, like the buildings that are standing are most likely the only buildings that have ever stood in these places. Maybe like an old farmhouse that got torn down and built a Costco, right? But other than that, it's not like these cobble streets and
like there's no construction. You don't see all these people bringing up new buildings like you would in the city.
You don't see that so much. I think people have like a bit of a tissy if you do. You know, because especially like glass and stuff, I don't think they like that in the city. I think because they say it looks cheap. Like in Rome, there's this one big old white, I think it's some sort of government building, and it's huge. It's massive, but it's beautiful, and it's white, like not cement, maybe it's like stone or something. And it goes around. And it was built like 500 years ago, but locals are still upset about it because it looks too new. They're like they don't like they find that it's too out of place, and like to me, it's not at all. You know. But down the street, you have the Colosseum, which is older than time, and you know, there's because they have the age, right? I hope you get to go check it out at some point.
I'll definitely add that place is definitely on my bucket list. But I mean, you mentioned Vanessa Hudgens. Corbin Bleu will also be there. I know Lucas Grable was there last year, so you got to kind of interact with him a bit. But I mean, Chad and Gabriella, OGs. Hopefully Kenny gives you a nice introduction to them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you better.
You haven't talked to them yet, have you? Like
no. You gotta play that cool. Gotta show up. Be like, hi, I'm Charlie.
Like you belong there, right? You do belong there. I mean,
I don't belong there. I'm just faking it. I swear to God, they invite me, but I'm like okay, I'll pretend like I can make my way here. But
I mean, to see the fans again, that must be really exciting because these fans continue to support the cast, the show. You yourself, there's update accounts, I know, on Instagram. So what is that lasting kind of love meant to you that people are still even petitioning for a season 2 at this point?
Yeah. It's beautiful. I don't understand it. But then again, it was an experience that like I never felt before. And I don't know if it was all new to me, and this is still new to me. And for people to still be around and caring about Julie, and you know, not a lot of people understand the amount of love that's come out of that show. You know, you talk about show people and like, oh yeah, you had a show on Netflix. Okay, cool. Like, how many seasons you get? Oh, we only got one. And you know, people might react like, oh, okay, so it wasn't that. But like, you know, if you understood the way it felt with these folks and the love that came through, I really don't think that happens a lot in a lifetime. That experience, and if it ever were to happen to me again, I would, I'd feel so blessed. I mean, because I feel so blessed because of it. And I know it was special, and I know it was unique. And so it's not something I take lightly. It's not something that I would ever want to trade for anything, but I'm really, really happy that they still like the show and people were watching it. And I listen to the album sometimes here and there. I listen to some of the songs, and Unsaid Emily just passed like 60 million on Spotify the other day. And overall, someone was posting that like all of this, like we got more than 400 million streams on the different platforms, which is really nice too. I don't know how you see how many streams get on like Apple. I don't know if that's a thing, but shit, 400 million, 60 million on a song that I sang. I was scared shitless going up on stage in like high school, like singing a little song up there. And now I got 60 million times my voice goes, first things first. like how ridiculous is that, you know? And yeah, I have so many people to thank. And that includes, the Phantoms, and the people who continue to love. But so hopefully I get something out there. I'm hoping to make something that like speaks to them again, that they'll enjoy, that is entertaining, but also lighthearted enough and speaks true. It's hard because you don't get to really choose what you get to do all the time, right? You do things because opportunities are presented to you in certain situations. Sometimes it fits perfectly in your schedule, and you're like, okay, I'll do it. But I know once in a while there's going to be a few cool projects in my life that I'm hoping to be like, yay, you guys, here's another one. Here you go. But when the stars align for you for something, how do you ever ask them to do that again? And so if it does, then I'm always, I'll take this with me to the grave. It'll say Charlie Gillespie, Luke, Julian the Phantoms, rip.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're like, you said it and then you're like thinking really hard. Nah, maybe I won't say exactly
loving
that.
brother, Luke.
I mean, it was such a beautiful show, and I think the impact that what you all created will continue to carry on. I know I listened to Unsaid Emily on Spotify the other day, so I contributed to that high number. But at the risk of kind of like stirring the pot, what were you hoping to explore, maybe see from Luke had the show been renewed for season 2? Like, did you speak with Kenny or any of the writing team like Dan, David, and Nora about it?
Did you say Nora?
Yes.
Nora?
Were they not on the writing team? They were credited.
Yeah. You're right. Nora. Yeah. But okay, yeah, because there was because Dan and Dave were in charge of
like the head
the creation of it, and then Nora was one of the. I think she wrote a couple of episodes. I think she actually wrote I don't think she wrote the Unsaid Emily episode. I think she wrote at least the one that we were in the club where I got a spark in me. I got a spark. Anyways, but then there's two more boys too. Finally free, yeah. And there's two more boys as well that were writing, and then I think they all had teams too. Nora was a legend. Well, we all wanted at least a kiss between Julie and Luke, so we know that would have hopefully happened, or just at least the relationship developed. And from what I understood, the powers left. Like we weren't able to touch it. What are you doing? Are you sipping on tea? I think like you're laughing. Hopefully the powers, I don't think we were able to touch each other again. I think that was like a gasm in the universe that we were for a moment. But I think new villains were introduced. The ones who were in control of Caleb. There's some really cool levels of, because the people in the club were all basically like slaves to Caleb, right? And so that aspect was something really interesting that they were diving into. The second you sold your soul to the club, you were like attached for eternity. And even though it seemed fun and they were having a great time dancing, like it was hard. It's hard for them. It's like the prison of laziness, where they never allowed to stop. And if they did, they would get like eaten or something by a big monster that lived in the ground. So there was some cool like universe aspects that they were creating. And but also I was just hoping, like for me, season 2, if anything would happen, I just wanted more. The main thing I wanted to highlight was just the main thing that Julie and the Phantoms was about friendship with each other, right? All these different people, all of us, that was 4, 5, 6, like we were one. And I would have been just as happy if the whole season would have taken place in the tour bus, and it was just the banter between everybody, because I think that's what the show was us, no matter how many universes, no matter how many fire breathing dragons we could have slayed off, like an acoustic album and a story between the 4, Willie and Jada, just would have been nice.
It was the connection between all of you, the chemistry that you had, that really drove the show, and it really showed that you could find family in the most like unlikely of places.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
like that's a universal message, but that's what I miss. You have the conventions to kind of rehash those memories and I know create new ones, so that's just really special, and I'm glad that you all get the chance to do that. You mentioned being busy: Miami, Spain, Italy, Mexico, Ecuador. Those are the places I've pinpointed you visiting over the past year, places like Instagram, your update accounts. Do you have a favorite of those countries? Any kind of travel destination you've been to this past year?
I really have fun wherever I go. I think it's like, I'm not even in Atlanta. I'm in like another little town outside of Atlanta that's very industrial. But, I don't know, just try to adventure, look around, have fun. It's not scuba diving off the coast of Ecuador, because that's really, really fun. But actually, that was a really cool trip. The coal restoration project that we helped out with down in a little small town off the coast of Ecuador, that was a really cool experience. We have a bunch of, they did it with a big team the day before. We had a meeting the day before, so we couldn't make it. So we showed up the next day and we still helped. I think we planted like 5 or 6 cages of coral into the ocean. And instead of the big team helping us, the local kids all joined. It was like 10 kids that they call them coral warriors. And it used to be one of the largest coral reefs on the planet. But in 2008, there was a huge rainstorm that swooshed a bunch of dirt from the mountains into the ocean. And so they just covered it all. And they're trying to help build it back up. And you're not going with scuba diving. You just, and you go, you're planting in. But it was a really great process and a really great experience. And the waters were getting a little cold. So if the kids are still out there and, they don't got much, they got like t-shirts and little shorts. So it'd be really nice to try to, if there's a scuba gear company out there that would like donate them, like some wetsuits, I think that'd be really, really cool. But they care about the waters, and it gives them a great little activity to do once in a while. And so Ecuador is an exceptional country. I'll visit there forever. Have you never been either?
I'm sure you can guess that answer. Yeah, never been, but like I like that when you go to these places, it's also about, embrace and being involved in the culture, also with the work you do, like ocean conservation. You've been working with the Mare Nostrum Foundation quite actively, Galapagos. What kind of projects have you been working on with them?
Well, we're starting a really, really big project. We got some really great funding for it's called what's called Light Up the Sea, and basically it's research that's already been done in Australia, but we're trying to get the we're just trying to get our own type of research done on the coast of South America, just because it's the local research that ends up helping us like implement things with the government. And so it'll start in January, and it'll be a 6-month project. We have all of these artisanal fishermen all up and down the coast that are going to be joining us, but it's for fishing nets, right? The boats will go out and they'll drag fish nets for not just 1 or 2 hours. They'll drag it for like 25 to like 30 hours. And during that process, they don't only catch fish; they'll catch dolphins and sharks and turtles and this marine life that that'll suffocate in these nets, you know. And so turtles can only really hold their breath, I think, for 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. And but what's really incredible about these animals, just like the sharks and the turtles, they have really great eyesight. And so what we do, and we'll add, and we have 3 different types of setups. We have green LED lights, we have red, and then we have multicolor. And what we're going to do is we're going to add LED lights to all these little fishing nets for the 6-month process, and we'll see how many sharks, you know, like the research we'll see is like, because what these animals do, they'll see the nets, you know, and then they'll just swim away. And so instead of like being in the dark, getting caught up, and you're like, you know, and the real problem is that not a lot of these coastal cities, there's like a couple of cities that are consuming turtle, but just because with the bycatch, you know, it's not like it's wasted meat if you don't. But but most people don't, right? And the leatherback sea turtle has decreased by like 97%. You know, beaches that we have, we have a great team of scientists with us, and she's been doing research since like the 90s. And when she was down there in the 90s, there was like 1,500 babies being born on the beaches. And these same exact beaches today, she's finding 10, 15 babies being born. And the main cause of that is bycatch, because you're not really allowed to catch them unless it's bycatch. And so there's all these different little factors that play in. And it also bugs the artisanal fishermen. They don't want to catch these turtles, because the turtles will get in and they'll entangle their nets. And nets are really expensive. And you can understand that like these local tiny little fishermen, that generational fishermen that, you know, if you see the homes, like a lot of them don't have electricity. A lot of them don't have running water. Like it's very rural on the coastline. And so they don't have the money to go in and they don't have the money to go in and get new nets all the time. And so we're hoping with this research, it helps them out, it helps the animals out, and that we start seeing an incline of births with this marine life. And so that project starts in the new year. We'll be documenting it at the same time as we're out there, and hopefully maybe have some sort of documentaire to be able to release to the public, just to show, you know, people what we were doing, and to get the voice out. Because, you know, if more fishing communities could adopt this new technology, then, you know, maybe we'll end up, you know, saving other animals that are going extinct because of bycatch, right? And so that's our really, really big project going on. We still have a few research projects that we're funding here and there, but this guy here is going to be really, really fun.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm excited to continue to track its progress. You mentioned in the new year, so hopefully we'll see some positive outcome to come out of that. Last month, you visited a drama class in New Brunswick. I know it's the same drama teacher you kind of visited virtually last year. So what was it like to be able to actually connect in person with them, share your story, share some words of wisdom?
Yeah, they're so cute. I'm going to go back there and do it a couple more times with them. And it was really fun seeing their class. And the boy, the drama teacher, he's a buddy of mine, right? He plays in a band with my brothers. And so we had that connection. But I love teaching, and not even teaching, but just like trying to let other, like, even though they're little kids, they're little artists themselves, you know, and the hardest thing is just letting them try to find their sense of expression and their sense of voice, and you know, give them some sort of entitlement that you are allowed to explore and create. And I don't know if I'm any help at all, but I really have I had a lot of fun with them, and I can't wait to go back, because I mean, I never got theater school when I was in high school. I only did it when I was a kid with the Capitol Theater, and even there, I'd love to go, teach a class or something. Kids are awesome. Kids are a great time. They got such funny brains on them. They say the funniest things, and yeah.
It's like that fresh perspective, right? Like, I mean, because obviously you have experience when you work on a new project, people who have been in the industry for a bit, and then you have these kids like the next generation, who are also just so passionate about what they do. So it's nice to be able to give back locally. I saw on Instagram that you were at the band Camino. We got to see them. I know you spoke about them in our first interview. How was the show? You also met a couple of fans, I think, there as well.
Met a couple of, oh yeah, I did. I ran into a couple of folks there. It was fun. I'm like, wherever I go, there's phantoms all around the world, man. It's ridiculous. Like, I was telling in the last interview, like it's just so random to me when it happens, and especially like other countries, because you don't expect it, especially with in a Spanish speaking country like Ecuador. I don't expect walking through a mall and then people being like, Charlie? Yes. From Julian the Phantoms? Maybe. Why? Did you hate it? No, I loved it. And it's like, I really don't expect that. And so when you run into folks in public, it's exciting for me. A little embarrassing too, especially at concerts, because concerts I let myself loose a little bit, but I loved the band Camino. It was such a great time listening to them play and seeing them live. I love the music. I was a big fan of them in the first year of COVID. They were like the playlist that I like put on every day to go for a run, and I think they're rad. And I just like being at a concert, knowing every word to every song. So
it's so much energy. I saw them when they came to
you saw
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah.
They played like 20 songs, and I was really impressed because they have like such a long set list. Energy still kept high. Floor was the opener. I wanted to ask, do you remember that? Because I love Floor. My sister loves that band. What were your thoughts? They had the red hair with the beautiful curls. The lead singer.
I followed them on Insta, I think that night, because I was impressed. Instant good fan for them. But I didn't know their opener at the time. I learned about them when I was there. Yeah. So you're a big fan before for Floor? Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
They've been around for a while too now. So it's always great when you discover new acts. Going to like the show for the headliner. Speaking of music, you have sung originals, shared them with fans before, like I'm Not a Fool. Have you been writing, songwriting, working on any new music?
Yeah, here and there for sure. But if ever I start releasing music, I'll have a band with me that like I'll do some stuff, I play with my brothers here and there, and honestly, I like covers. I enjoy more like a night out playing with and so maybe me and my brother will put up a couple of just like cover gigs. He does gigs all the time, so I'd just be piggybacking on his, you know what I mean? But I feel like so much of how I play and how I practice comes from him, just because he's like so dedicated to it. Like he loves to do music, and when you don't have a band that speaks with you, I think making music is like a community thing, and when you don't have that, like you're just one voice, and there's so many different sounds that you can hear in your head while you're writing, but that when you want to play it, you want someone else to be able to express it with you. And so maybe one day, but I'm taking slow. I'm being slow with that, because I just don't want to release stuff to release stuff. I want to make sure that it's another form of art that I'm playing with,
Yeah, like you want to have that intent, and you want to be deliberate in what you have to say and what you put out there, which I think some people might fall into the trap sometimes, where it's like you're you have pressure on yourself to release something, and it might not be, the best work or something that truly comes from inside. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get it. You get it. You write
Charlie
music?
music. I think people want a Charlie music video one day because you have been in 3. You played boyfriend in 2. Chevelle, Madison. You've been in your friend Hannah Lay's music video. So one day, maybe we'll say like a 5-year goal. Maybe you'll have your own one day.
Yeah, yeah. I'll play the boyfriend in that too.
Yeah, you'll just be. It's like, okay, I've already done it twice. What's the third time? Oh well.
Have you heard Hannah's new song?
Was it Drive or
Yeah,
was there a new one?
Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's catchy. I mean, she has some like good kind of like you can tell there's like some soulful
Oh
vocals
yeah,
there.
she's so cool. That girl journals from the moment she gets up to the morning she goes to bed. So she's got some great lyrics. But yeah, we're big Hannah fans over on this side of the Zoom call.
She is great, and it's so nice like to find people who, you gel with and are just so passionate about art
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
I got some really good friends down in Cali, and I miss them so much, especially now that because I've been home, right, with my childhood family, my blood, but
Your LA family is calling you. I know that she loves Koa, so she probably misses Koa as well.
Have you ever seen Frank?
Sorry?
Her puppy? Have you ever seen her puppy Frank on the gram? Oh, that guy's a stud. Yeah, he's a little legend. And then Kobu and Kiara, which is my friends Mitchie and Jenna's dogs. They're adorable. Little yappas.
Koa's missing his friends.
Well, he hasn't seen Kobu and Kiara for a minute, and I feel like he's grown so much since. Kobu's like 35 pounds now. It's ridiculous. So dang chunky, which I love. I love a little chunky dog. He's not chunky. He's just gonna. This is baby Koa though.
Oh, it's probably crazy because it's like been how long have you had Koa for now? I think I wrote down. It was May 2021.
There you go. Yeah, his birthday is March 4th. Yeah. So Johnny Philly must have been May. Yeah, March 4th, I think. Yeah, I've had him for a minute. I'm so happy. He loves going for walks. He loves walking through the woods, which I appreciate the most. Like we'll go through the woods and like let him off leash, and he just explores and sniffs, which is what's really nice about New Brunswick, because there's nothing really bad. It's gonna there's ticks, but he has his medication, and you watch out for them. Like you look at them when you get back home, but there's no snakes other than garden snakes. There's no spiders that'll take a piece out of you, and so you can let him off leash and he can explore all he wants, and you don't have to worry that he's going to put his nose up in a rattlesnake hole and then get bit, which is really cool.
Well, I'm glad that Koa can be a good travel buddy, companion for you, especially when you're on the go so much. And then, of course, your mom getting to come with you to Paris this year, keeping it in the family. I have a wild card question for you.
Okay.
Can you name all of the Spice Girls?
No. No.
None of them?
Not one. Wait, what's the David Beckham's wife's name? She's the Spice Girl, right? Yeah, Dixie, Flutter, Rebecca.
You want to try the second? I had 2 wild cards. Maybe I'll give you the second one. Okay,
Yeah,
I will tell you the Spice Girls. It was Scary, Sporty, Baby Ginger, and Posh. That's Victoria Beckham. David Beckham. Look, I don't know my Spices. Okay, can you name all of the Teletubbies?
Bo, Po, Kiki, I'm Kiki, I'm Po. No.
Well, you did get the one. You got one.
Okay,
out of 4.
I'm gonna ask you. Can you name? You name. 5 Canadian-only TV cartoons.
definitely not.
Come on, not even.
Touche.
Oh,
Wait, like just Canadian.
they're
based.
Canadian. Yeah. Okay, 3.
I'm gonna call a friend.
Okay, how about no? We don't have those. You don't get those.
I don't get a pass
Yeah,
card.
no pass. No,
I'll give
there's,
it to you. I'm sure you've
okay,
watched a lot of
how about this? You know that one?
I mean, that sounds familiar, but
Atomic Betty gonna save the world. Atomic Betty. You know that one?
I feel like I've heard like that riff, but
Oh yeah, Fun Betty was a badass show. Damn. I'm trying to think of a couple more and I can't right now. There's George Shrinks. That's another Canadian one. There's that one with the blue guy, the purple guy, and the girl. I think Franny's Feet was Canadian.
Okay.
Do you remember that one?
I mean, I know they probably would have aired on CBC, like growing up. PBS maybe.
No, I think they were like Disney during the day.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Or maybe CBC. Yeah.
You think
maybe
Canadian-based programming might be like CBC, but anyways, you did get the 1 out of, we'll say it was 9 for those questions. Poe. It was Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La La, Poe. Poe is the
Tinky Winky, Tipsy, La. Poe. Okay.
There you go.
And yeah, sorry about the Spice Girls. They're beautiful and they made badass music, but I would have been better off with the Dixie Chicks.
Based on your musical taste, and I'm sure music growing up, that might have been more your jam. But we will kind of end this like interview portion here. But thank you so much, Charlie, for taking the time to catch up. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Chloe. I appreciate it.
For those watching and listening, you can catch Charlie in The Class Is Out Now. I mentioned on all of your favorite streaming services: Amazon Prime Video, Google Play, Apple
and then
TV.
Totally Killer, and the movie I just did called Suze.
So much in the work, so much to look forward to.
And the Get Back Girl, yeah, they're fun. Hopefully check them out. Merci.
We will see you next time, and thank you for watching.